Welcome to Chat It Up, a podcast where we turn dentistry into a delightful conversation. Hi, I'm Bita, your smile-seeking host, and today I have the honor of welcoming Lori William, an expert in orthodontic practice efficiency. With a vast experience and a passion for sharing knowledge, Lori helps practices overcome challenges and maximize their potential. Her contagious energy and strategic approach empowers teams to achieve their goals. Hi, Lori, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bita. Great to be here, finally.
I'm so happy you're here, and I can't believe I have you here, to be honest with you.
Oh, settle down now, settle down.
So, Lori, tell us who you are and what you do, and let the audience hear how to become you.
I'm Lori William, and I am a partner in Strategics, and we work with offices. Orthodontic office is my specialty, but all aspects of dentistry to work with the team to maximize practice efficiencies. Obviously different for everybody. Sometimes it's working with offices in the new patient process, sometimes it's scheduling, sometimes it's just overall, how do we even get started? So I've been in orthodontics, I guess 1992 is when I started, and dentistry is embedded into who I am. My father was a dentist, so I grew up with starting the confirmation process for patients at the ripe age of 14. So my mom had a script for me to follow, so I feel that dentistry is in my blood, it's who I am, and the ability to help offices and work with doctors and teams is absolutely what I love day to day.
That's amazing. So, Lori, tell me what inspired you. I know you said dentistry is embedded in you. What inspires you to go out there and help all these orthodontists and their team get what they should be getting out of their practice?
That's a really great question. I started with, or actually the second clinic that I worked with, I had the opportunity and the privilege to work alongside an orthodontist who was setting up multiple practices. And that thrill of hiring team members and onboarding team members and training them, and at the time I was also his treatment coordinator. So I was seeing 14 new patient exams a day. We had a team of 28. We were opening up the second location. A third one was on the horizon. I absolutely loved the energy and just putting out fires and problem solving, and I just love that. And I was starting to get some calls from orthodontists in regards to if I could help them or answer some questions that they had. And I started to realize that there was more out there and there were more opportunities, and serving teams and working with offices is really what fuels my soul, I guess. And so, you know what? I was completely transparent, and I decided that one day I was going to get into consulting. And my husband had done his MBA with a gal who was a hygienist by trade and married to a dentist, and she did her MBA to start a consulting company. And I approached her and said, hey, I want to do what you do, but I want to do it for ortho offices. And here I am 17 years later.
Wow, that's amazing. You didn't say 17 years later.
7 years later.
Yes,
later. 7.
Yes. So, Lori, tell me, first of all, how do dentists or orthodontists can get in touch with you and set up a meeting with you to be able to get your expertise?
Well, you can go to our website, which is Strategics, that's STRATEGIX-LTD.com. You're more than welcome to send me a text. It's 403-703-9250. I'm a good Albertan girl. And you know what? We have a team that's very heavily focused in Western Canada, so there's 6 of us. And you know what? We really pride ourselves in making sure that you have the support that you're looking for to achieve your goals. And that's not always myself or my partner, Corrine. It can be one of our consultants, because they're even more awesome than we are.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. I want to ask you this. Tell me one success story that you were helping an orthodontist in an orthodontic office, obviously, and patient related, that you went in with the strategies that you have and you put in a system in, and it just totally turned the story around.
So that was probably, I mean, that happens quite regularly, but I remember when I started my journey with Strategics, I was approached by an office out in the East Coast. And so I went out to the office, and tons of potential because very few orthodontists are out there. And this orthodontist was not enjoying what she was doing. It was very stressful. She took over a very busy practice. She thought it was going to be more than what it was. And so I, went into the office, and we figured out what processes in the office could be delegated. And she had a fantastic team, a very experienced team. And I think it's just that, coming out of school and used to doing everything, and when you're buying an existing practice, you can't do everything. You need to learn who is best. It's that whole Jim Collins concept of getting the people on the bus, getting those people in the right seats on the bus, and that's what we did. And we went from having weekly calls with her literally sitting in her closet because she was so overwhelmed, and literally she just wanted to throw the keys back at the previous owner, to figuring out a way that she could delegate and actually have life balance as a female practitioner. And she has 2 beautiful boys now, and she loves it. I mean, we were able to delegate those. We were able to streamline some efficiencies around the schedule. A few different regulations out there, so we were able to utilize hygienists to their maximum potential. And, again, orthodontics is such a fantastic profession that you can have that balance, and you can have the best of both worlds, both professionally and personally. It's just sometimes you just don't know how to get it.
That's great. Thank you. Here's my next question. In your experience, 7 years of experience,
yes.
What are the most challenges an orthodontic practice faces in terms of efficiency, and how could we address them?
So that's a great question. I would say right now in the current market, I'm going to say that probably one of the biggest challenges would be HR. Mm-hmm. And just, with COVID, I feel that a lot of our people left the profession. I feel that the market is coming back slowly. I feel that we're in a little better position than we were a year ago. But HR has been a big challenge. So when you look at technology and what is available for practitioners today, from remote monitoring to, just the digital workflow in itself, whether that's aligners, whether it's, indirect bonding of some sort, or 3D printed brackets, whatever it is, there's just so much technology that we can utilize that's there to help streamline your processes, and it's not being utilized to maximize that efficiency. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a big opportunity there, and just, processes and systems. And it's not creating a 500-page manual that your team has to go through, because nobody's going to do that. We have these little devices that are now called like computers, and you can take 15-second videos with them and how-tos, and they're so much more effective. And just to ensure that everybody's on the same page, mm-hmm. and everybody's doing things the same way.
That's awesome. As a mom,
yes.
How do you do this? How do we do this?
We're crazy. That's why. And I don't know, maybe the odd or occasional glass of wine.
Or 2.
One thing, I do have 3 kids. Mm-hmm. Mine are older than yours because I'm older than you. But I don't think it's a bad thing for kids to see their parents work hard, and for kids to see that, life, there's sacrifices that we have to make. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things that I've missed in their lives because I've been on the road, I've had a commitment, I've had an engagement, and once it's in my calendar, I'm not backing out. So I don't think that that's a bad thing. I guess I can give a lot of credit to my husband. He's been my biggest supporter when I joined Strategics, and he's like, you've told me for 5 years that you can do this, so now go do it. And there's no looking back. So I've had that benefit of having that support mechanism. But It's not easy. It's absolutely not easy. But you know what? I think the kids looking through their lenses in terms of, I'm sure their story is a little different than mine. Mm-hmm. But you know what? When you see your kids graduating from university and you know, my daughter just graduated engineering U of A last spring and now she's traveling the world for a year. I'm okay with the sacrifices that I made along the way. And I think I'm also blessed because I really love what I do.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. They always say it might be cliche. They say, love what you do what you love, you know. Right. And behind a successful man, there's always a woman. But I totally have to say it. Behind a successful woman is always a supportive husband or a partner, whoever it is. So we are thankful for them for sure. And sorry, kids, mommy and daddy got to work.
Yeah, no kidding. So
yeah, gotta pay out for you.
Pray for you. That's right. Very, very true.
You know, as a woman it is a business. In this business, how could we support other women that are, you know, needing help?
I think there's a huge opportunity for this in our profession because I know the females that I have the privilege of working with. It's a struggle. It's a struggle, and a lot of times they feel that they're alone. You know, I didn't realize this profession was so demanding. My practice is growing quicker than I thought. I didn't realize that I'd be seeing patients 4 days a week, and then I would have 2 days of paperwork and treatment planning and, you know, clin checks or, you know, whatever digital plans that I need to work on, not to mention the performance reviews that I have to do after work and, you know, the ads that I have to post and the hiring and the dismissing. It's real. And this profession, although it's very lucrative, there's also a lot that comes along with it. And I think as women in this profession, with everything else outside of the practice in terms of family commitments and, you know, being members of this or chairmans of this and whatever, we have a hard time saying no. And no is okay, right? Like there's a next opportunity and there's a next obstacle. And you really need to determine which is best for you. And it's okay to say no, but it's also okay to reach out to your colleagues and to different groups and get a different perspective. I mean, look at the best in the world. Like look at sports analogies and sports athletes and their coaches that they have. And I mean, Tiger Woods, right? He is a coach, and he completely reinvented his entire swing, his golf swing, because he knew he could be better, and he had that support to get there. And I think you're a professional, and you've spent so much time to get where you're at. I think sometimes we just need to leave everything at the door and come in and be vulnerable and be real, and you're going to discover that there's a lot more people experiencing the same thing, the same feelings, the same thoughts. And you know what? It's way more powerful, and it feels a lot easier to go through it with somebody else.
That's absolutely true for sure. So if someone in the general public wanted to be a consultant, be a sales rep, or do what you do, how do they do it?
Well, if you want to be a sales rep, I don't know how to do that. But if you want to be a consultant, call us. So, I mean, I you know, and I say that jokingly, but seriously, I don't know how to be a sales rep. I guess you'd have to figure out what you're passionate about.
Have to bring a sales rep down.
Yeah, absolutely. Let them be an expert. Let them be an expert. In terms of consulting, I think, you know what, it's a great gig. It has been probably the most rewarding thing. I mean, aside from being a mom, in that and beyond, you know, I thought it would be this. I did not realize the friendships and the relationships and the connections that I would have with people. I didn't realize that doctors and you know, they would become friends, and you'd actually go to Napa Valley and you know, go on wine tours with them, because you really create that rapport and that connection. This whole profession is about those connections. But being a consultant is, I mean, if you want to talk about personal growth and, you know, just the opportunities to help and serve this profession, this is it. It's not easy. You know, people look at you when you come into a clinic and they think, oh my goodness, look at her life.
it's not what you think it is. It's, being on site for 8 hours a day and working 6 days a week. You're responding to emails till 10 o'clock. And then if you're preparing for a presentation, that's on your weekends.